Hey guys, so I wanted to share this cradle. It's one of my favorite cradles to hit. I hit it a lot in my wrestling career. It started in high school and I continued through with it in my college wrestling career and used it a ton in college. It's a crotch lock cradle specifically when someone drops down to your ankle, okay? Now, why would someone drop down to the ankle? Number one, they take a low single or a John Smith single leg and the head pops to the inside. Number two, in this case specifically, I'm on the bottom position. I explode into stand up. He drops down to my ankle to either stall, get a stalemate, get a reset, or uses it to try and build up. A third option where this might happen is if he shoots a single leg, I pop my knee line out, and he kind of sags down to my ankle in general, okay? So we're gonna talk about the back step and how to initiate this cradle and all the pieces that go into it, because there are a lot of small details here, okay? So starting over, once again, how did this happen? I was on bottom, I come up in a stand-up. My opponent drops down, hangs onto my ankle, once again, in hopes to either build up and get back to a decent top position, or he's just looking to stall, increase riding time, and get a stalemate, right? So as time continues, look how he tries to collect my secondary ankle. Okay, this is gonna obviously bound up both of my legs and in hopes to push me to my hands and then build back up into a good position. Okay, I immediately start to strip that grip. That's very important. So I get that freedom back to my right leg. All right, notice how my right leg is free now. And this position for me, right, my opponent is totally flat. I mean, at this point in the video, you'll clearly see he's very much disengaging. It's pretty clear he's just trying to hold on and get a fresh start and wait for the referee to call a stalemate and just increase riding time. All right, from here, my left arm, if you notice, it's pushing down on his head. All right, that is critical to keep his head down for the future back step I'm about to do. So look at my left arm pushing the head down, and now watch how I take a big back step there at my leg. All right, that back step is critical. Leg comes around, I back step, and now look what's gonna happen. You're gonna see my right arm goes between the legs from the backside, and my left arm is gonna go in between the legs from the front side of the quad. All right, this is called a crotch lock right here. I'm locked in between the crotch. I have a S grip or a chain link grip, fingertips together, right, underneath this leg, which you can't see at this angle, okay? From here, what you'll start noticing, right, my leg is over his head. So you can't really see it. You'll see it at a better angle in a few seconds, but his head is right there, tucked underneath my leg. Okay, I'll come back to it, or I'll fast forward and I'll come back to it just so you can see. But there's a better angle, right? My leg, when I back step, it puts him in a position where my leg is over his neck. That's tucking his head and will make it very easy for me to force a forward roll position for him in the future to go into my future cradle, okay? So once again, he's hanging to my ankle, right? I push the head down with the near arm. Big back step. I'm going crotch lock, all right? One arm around by the hamstring, one arm around in front of the quad, all right? From here, my goal is to pull and try and bring weight towards his head. Notice how hard I'm pulling him over here. His weight's kind of going whoop, right down towards the head, okay? My goal is to not only pull him forward, but I want to eventually get my right leg to hook this ankle right here, okay? Once I do so, that'll help compress him and it'll stop him from circling away from me. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna continue circling towards him. He's gonna keep trying to circle away from me. That's the chasing game right there, okay? So I'm continuing to put pressure forward towards his head, as you can see. See how his leg keeps lifting? You can even see my back muscles working here, right? I'm using this arm and I'm pulling him forward towards his head, okay? The more he's able to sit his butt back to his heels and get his legs onto the ground, he's able to not only be well balanced, but to prevent me from creating that forward rolling pressure for the future cradle that's happening, okay? I continue to pull him forward. Look at that right leg of mine, right? My right leg is staying active. I keep trying to step over that leg. He's doing a good job of fighting it right now. Keep trying to step over the leg. And now let's recap and look back one more time. Look at my left leg. Once again, weighing down his head. It's wrapped, it's contorted around the head and neck there, right? His head has no possible way of looking up towards the sky and getting posture. All right, once again, this helps me cradle him and fold his body in half and eventually bring his knee to his face, okay? Look at my right leg staying active. I have the knee line in right there. So my right leg eventually hooks his leg, okay? Now let's look at the situation we're in here, okay? I'm using my entire body, my legs, to ball my opponent up, all right? My left leg's curling his head in. My right leg is curling his leg in. I'm gonna start folding this guy up with both my legs. All right, now here's the big thing. Notice my left arm. You can't really see it too well from this angle. My left arm still has that crotch lock, okay? You're gonna see how it transitions now around to the shoulder. So I leave the crotch lock and now I start to transition to the shoulder. Okay, so watch. I take it out and I transition over the shoulder to lock my hands in a full-blown cradle now. All right, so my hands are cradled around his trap and his leg in a typical near side cradle, and my legs are also cradling his body. All right, from here, I'm gonna start leaning to the side. And now look, here's a really important detail, guys, with this cradle like this when I use my legs. My top leg is responsible for weighing down this leg, okay? The more my leg stomps down towards the mat, the more it brings his top leg knee to face. That's gonna continue to keep him cradled. So it's very important when you bring the person over, you're using your top leg to weigh him down. Look what I'm talking about here. Look how folded he is from my leg. My leg is pulling that knee down towards the mat and towards his head. This truly keeps him like this, like that's his body. It's truly just folded in half, all right? The more I let my leg up in the air, all right, the more his knee rises and helps him escape that cradle and extend and buck, okay? Now I will say, he actually does a really smart thing here, which I'll show in the video. He starts to build some momentum and try and roll back towards his feet. Right, for a second, the ref stops the count, but I eventually bring him right back over again. But look what he does with his far leg. He brings it around. Look at that. Because he realizes my top leg is weighing down this leg. Right? So once he rolls back, he knows this leg right here of mine is responsible, and it's weaved around his leg, and it's responsible for stomping this one to the floor. Okay, watch what he does with his opposite leg. His opposite leg is going to swing around and hook around my leg. This is really smart for him. This is a really great way to start escaping this position, right? And now he's going to use his legs to extend and basically strip my leg out of there. And now watch what happens there. See how he strips my leg out of there? And now I lose his leg. And now he starts to turn away, winds up breaking the grip. You know, end of the day, it's okay. I mean, obviously a pin would have been great there, but let's see the referee's hand here. As soon as I get the cradle, guys, because once again, remember, I was on bottom. So now I establish control. Referee's holding up that left hand for red, 2 points, and already starting to get the back point swipes. So I wound up getting a takedown, back points. I mean, this was a great opportunity for me, right? This was a great counter, a great way to score off of my opponent trying to stall and just hang on the ankle. Back step, crotch lock. Immediately, weight forward, right? I'm lowering his head and stopping his head from posturing up with my left leg. I'm pulling him up, 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 preventing his leg or his head from posturing up. Look how I back step that leg. I hook it with my right leg, hopping over to the side, using my leg to weigh my opponent down. This is critical, guys. I'm gonna make more videos on this because I did this many times in college. This is huge. This will be the difference between someone escaping before you can get a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 count and you being able to maintain it for a full swipe, right? Full 5 count, or eventually getting your pin. Okay, so one more time, let's look at that from the start again. I'm on bottom, I stand up. He drops down to the ankle. I free my leg, push the head down, back step, crotch lock, immediately pulling weight forward. Get him heavy-headed. Okay, that gives me time to try and hook his back leg on my right leg. See, if I keep his weight forward towards his head, he can't move his legs too much. Now I got a full cradle with the body here. My arms and my legs are involved in cradling him up. Right, ref counts or gives me 2 for the takedown, starts swiping immediately. All right, got a couple back points here. Nice 4 or 5 point swing. Possibly more now with the new wrestling rules and point system. So guys, keep this in mind. Anytime someone drops down to an ankle, like I said, doesn't matter if it's you're standing up from bottom. If you get in a scramble, you pop the knee line out in a single leg. He takes a Smith single leg or a low single. Anytime someone pops down to the ankle, look for this back step. Look for this crotch lock. It's there so many times. This was one of my key techniques or key attacks in college that helped me rack up many, many points with this very sneaky cradle.